So this is how I apply an oil finish to the majority of my work. I use an oil finish on, and this has been sanded. This is olive wood. This has been sanded to 1000 grit, and I'm using the odies super duper oil, but it's exactly the same technique with the original odies oil, and you have to give it a really good shake, or with the original, give it a really good stir, and you really use the trick with these oils, these odies oils, is you use a tiny amount, and I use a white non-abrasive Scotch-Brite pad or Nye-Web pad, and you literally, after shaking it, I just dip the edge of it into the lid. You really, I don't know if the camera can see that, but you really don't want a lot. And then I still, with that little bit that's on the edge, wipe off the excess on the edge of the jar, and with the lathe running slowly, I wipe the oil in. And the idea is you don't want to flood the surface with the oil. You don't want masses and masses of excess oil on the surface. You really just want the bare minimum that you can spread around and cover the surface of the wood. If you dip this into the jar and get it saturated and really flood the surface, you're just wasting product and you're not improving the finish. So you really do, if you only remember one thing from this video, and one thing I've learned from applying odies oil, is you use the tiniest amount of oil. Really, really tiny amount. So I tend to wipe it in like this, rub it in sort of 30 seconds or so until the whole surface is covered, and then I wait for around a minute, something like that, because this is I do one coat like this while I'm working on the lathe, and then after 2 days I do another coat off the lathe. So we'll wait a minute just for that to set up. Right, so after a minute or so, it doesn't matter if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, but just give it a little while to set up, and then I use a piece of clean kitchen paper, and with the lathe running slowly, I just remove the excess, and there really shouldn't be a lot of excess if you haven't put a lot on. So you can see, you know, the paper isn't wet through. And then with a different part of the paper, a clean part, increase the speed just slightly. And you just want to feel a little bit of warmth. Not a lot. You don't want to get it uncomfortably hot. Just that little bit of warmth in your finger through the kitchen roll. And that's it. And if I take that out the chuck and show you, you get a nice sort of satin sheen. And I hope you can see that. And that's how I apply odies oil.